everybody.
How you doing tonight?
Doing good.
You been keeping track of the Abbey Canucks game so far?
Not up until this point. No,
Yeah.
I just quickly popped out and got back in.
Nice. So we're going to do what we always do with our first time guests. We're going to do a getting to know you interview. So it's going to be a lot of hard hitting questions for you. So let's start off by asking.
I'm ready.
You ready? What is your favorite hockey team?
Well, I guess right now it's Abbey.
Yeah.
But all time, obviously, it's the Canucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a favorite player for the Canucks?
Currently, it was JT Miller.
Oh, no.
But he's gone now. So I guess I would say it's Quinn Hughes.
Yeah. I would say that's probably the general consensus these days. I mean, it's hard not to cheer for a guy like that.
I mean, I got his jersey right there.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
You got JT Miller there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You and poor Kempner. I know he's taking it hard too still.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite all-time player? Like, is there a classic Canuck player that you love?
All-time player is Luongo.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So now that Dallas has shit the bed and got knocked out, we're hoping Florida wins it so Luongo can get another cup, right?
Oh yeah, I'm all for that.
So the next question I'll ask you, what is your favorite hockey moment as a fan?
As a fan?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough. But right off the top of my head, it's got to be the stanchion goal from Bieksa.
Yeah. Where were you when you were watching that one?
I was actually downtown in a McDonald's right by the library.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if that McDonald's is still there or if they moved it. I think they moved it down the street.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was literally in the McDonald's watching, and I didn't even see the puck go in the net. I just saw everyone just jump and start cheering, and I was like, yeah. And my buddy and I literally bolted out of the McDonald's, running like crazy, just high-fiving random people on the street. And yeah, that's definitely a moment I'll never forget. Also, I was there during Game 7. Luckily, I left before the riots happened. Actually, little fun fact, right where I was standing was where that car got flipped over and set on fire in front of what's now called Post. I was literally standing there like probably 20 minutes before they flipped that car over.
That's crazy.
So I got back to the North Shore, turned around and saw the smoke, and then, got home, turned on the news, and I was like, holy shit, I was literally just standing right there.
Yeah.
I'm glad I left when I did. So
it's like the situation where it's like you're walking down the street and then suddenly an AC unit falls right behind where you just were, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we were chatting a bit earlier, and you did say you played a bit of hockey growing up. Do you have a favorite moment as a player in hockey?
I think I have a couple. I mainly played goalie, as that was my bread and butter. But I do remember, I think it was when I wasn't playing goalie, because we would usually rotate. And I believe, actually, I'll give two, because another one just popped into my head. One was, I believe they thought a whistle went, so everyone stopped. And the referees were like, no, keep going. And then I managed to get the puck, and I went in on a breakaway. I can't remember if I scored or not. I think I didn't score.
Yeah.
But I had like this great chance to score on a like full-on breakaway. Everyone was behind me, and I'm just like, oh, it's just me and the goalie. And I'm unfortunately, I don't think I scored.
So you almost had your own Bieksa moment, because it's like everyone stopped playing.
Yeah. And then the second moment, I was being I guess you could say a little bit channeling my inner Matt Cook. At the time, I was kind of like hacking a guy in the back of the leg. I can't even remember if he had the puck, but I was just hacking him. And then he turned around and he decked me with a punch. And I just dropped to the ice. And then according to my dad, I popped right back up, was like, huh? What's going on? And then he ended up getting a penalty for it. And I got unscathed. So it's a little biased officiating, even when I was, 12-year-old.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget that. And I guess the third one was when I was playing goalie. Is I played a game at North Shore Winter Club.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bunch of family there, and I ended up winning like 15-1. I only let in one goal.
That's wild.
And that really, I remember that one a lot because of family being there and seeing me. And I also remember the other team was getting pretty pissed off because I kept on stopping everything. And then actually, I think I'll have to admit, I think I even let that one goal in. I was just like, okay, I'll give you guys something. So, but I remember that fondly.
Just throwing them a bone,
sure.
I guess.
Yeah.
So this question might be a bit harder because some people do have troubles with this. But if you had to pick a player from one of the Canucks' hated rivals, who would you choose to bring on as a career Vancouver Canuck?
That is a difficult one. One's already popped in my head, and I know for sure people are not going to like this, but considering how he's playing in the playoffs right now, Brad Marchand, I would say. As much as I hate his guts, I do think he's one heck of a player, and especially in the playoffs. He just comes alive in the playoffs. And I think Florida made a good move going and getting him. That was a smart move on their part. I guess another player would be, and this might be an obvious one, but maybe Connor McDavid. If we had McDavid or even Draisaitl.
Yeah.
That would be something. But definitely Marchand for sure.
Yeah. Can you imagine? So these three players will be available to the Canucks this summer. Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane, and Brad Marchand is the Canucks' third line.
I like the idea of Kane. I've never been a fan of Toews.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just dislike him. But no, definitely Kane for sure. He's still got a lot of gas in the tank.
That could
so Kane would definitely be for sure one that I would want.
So it's obviously been a tough year for the Vancouver Canucks. So I did want to kind of get your thoughts on what is like the biggest need for this Vancouver Canucks team moving into the new season next year.
Definitely a second line, either a second line or at least a top six center for sure. Absolutely. Obviously our decor is really good right now. Our goaltending is really good. They just need some offense. And that's what I've been covering on my channel is, throwing out trade targets, free agent signings. Obviously we're going to have to, or we're most likely going to trade our first round pick. In order to get it. Are we going to have to throw something else in there? Probably. But yeah, definitely offense for sure. We need at least a top six center, maybe two if Suter walks, because it's looking like he's going to. And then we're also going to have to replace Besser, because I don't think he's coming back as much as I want him to. I just think that ship's already sailed.
I just can't stop thinking about the fact that we got to pay OEL $4.7 million next year, and that probably would have been enough to sign Besser.
Yeah, probably.
At least to add on top of the contract he's currently making.
Yeah.
So Tyler, let's talk about the Line Changer channel a little bit, because you're on Instagram, you're on Twitter, you're on Spotify, you're on YouTube, you're all over the place. How long have you been doing the Canucks content creation thing?
I've been doing it since the idea came in December, and then I officially launched in I think it was late January. But yeah, I'm on Spotify. I'm on Apple Podcasts as well. I actually just noticed I'm top 5 when it comes to Canuck news. I got an email about it. I was like, oh. Spotify, Apple, Instagram, Twitter, or X, Facebook, and then even TikTok.
So pretty much anywhere that you can get any kind of content, you're going to be there.
Yeah. Basically, if I can get as many eyes on it, I'll throw it on. Like, heck, if OnlyFans had a thing, I'd probably bring up an OnlyFans too.
Hey, you'd be the first Canucks content creator on there. You'd beat me to it. Feed pics only.
But yeah, I started it in January. I've always been passionate about the Canucks. Been passionate about the sport of hockey. Having played it back in the day, and being a full-blooded Canadian too. Hockey is well, for lack of a better term, my life. I can't get enough of it. And another reason I started the channel is my mother is was a big Canucks fan. Past tense there. I don't know if anyone really watches the news, but I was actually on the news yesterday talking about my mother. I won't dive too deep into it. I will say she unfortunately passed away a year ago, and there's been a bunch of stories on it. So I was on the news yesterday, and she's a big reason why I do the channel. Is it's for her. She would have wanted me to do something I'm passionate about, something that I love, and this was a no-brainer. So I essentially do this for her.
That's good. So I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that you're honoring her her memory with something that she would love you, and I'm sure she'd be really proud of you. What have you found to be one of like the hardest things about doing the content creation thing?
Definitely maybe views, like, getting a base for sure. I think I've done pretty well up until this point. But obviously getting the views, getting as much content out as I can. Obviously right now it's very lacking. And thankfully for Abbotsford, they're keeping me going because they're giving me good content. And I guess also I'm still adjusting to doing it as well, as I'm kind of learning on the go. Obviously with like getting things, set up, lights, cameras, all that. I'm still figuring all that out. And then I use StreamYard, so I'm still figuring that out as well. So that's been, a process, but I'm getting better at it and learning new things. I've been really big on graphic design for most of my life, actually. I started using Photoshop probably over 10 years ago and could barely even do a stick person with that. And I've grown since then. And that's another reason why I do the channel is I get to showcase my talents with Photoshop. I've now moved to using, what's it called? I use a different thing for my thumbnails now. It's online, really simple. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart with the name of it. But a lot of content creators, I think, use it as well. And it's just so simple, especially for like, if you want to like cut something out, sure, I can do it in Photoshop, but that's going to take like an hour.
Right.
But at least with this one, it's a click of a button and it's boom, the background's gone. So I use that a lot. And, it's a showcase of, how far I've come when it comes to graphic design. I always get a kick out of doing my thumbnails. And sometimes they take me hours to do, even though they could take me 20 minutes.
Right.
But that's because I'm a perfectionist and I'm never satisfied. I actually just recently changed up my style for my thumbnails, make them a little bit better. And I used a combination of Photoshop and the other thing. Again, I still can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably got it up here somewhere.
The man with 1,000 windows open on his computer.
Yeah, Canva. Canva, that's what it's called.
Yeah. My wife actually uses that for just like her kind of crafts and stuff like that. So it's been very useful for her.
It's very useful.
Cool. Awesome. Tyler, I appreciate you coming on the show today. We're just about to get into the second period here. Is there anything you wanted to say to chat before I let you
go? What's up, chat? I'll hop on after and I'll see the chat. But what's up, chat? I know there's a few names in there, like Irvin's in there. I know Irvin I'm obviously because of this, I've become really close friends with Clay. And as well as, Kempner as well. So that's another thing that I love about this is the community is absolutely amazing. And I'm looking forward to doing more content throughout the summer. And then once the season starts, if I could click a button and we'd be in October already, I would be like hammering on that button right now just to get more stuff. But hey, I think Abby's going to take it. They're going all the way and I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks for coming on, brother, and enjoy the rest of the game, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks for having me, man.
Nothing is perfect.